Hello everybody, welcome back to the Kuchi-e Gallery YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be opening package number 9, and I am filming this today on January 21st, 2025. I apologize for the delay in these videos, but I hurt my back and next door neighbors were doing a roofing job, so that combination made it that I just didn't have enough time without it being extra noisy to go ahead and do these videos. So I apologize for the delay. In any event, let's get into it. In today's video, I've kind of pre-opened this, so I'm just going to go ahead and take the stuff out. This is actually a combination. I took out some stuff from another package, and I put it in here because I had too many pieces in the other package, and I also wanted to do a comparison video. So I combined these two packages worth of stuff. And I'm not sure how many this has, actually. It's been a couple months since I received these, so I'm not sure how many are in here. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five individually wrapped items, although I'm not actually sure. I'm not actually sure what is what. Like whether there might be more than one item per wrapped item. I just don't know. And give me just a second while I set this up. But anyway, in today's video, I'm going to be opening Kuchi-e Japanese woodblock prints by several artists. I know there's at least one piece by Kaburaki Kiyokata, and I think there's a piece by Mishima Shoso also that I really like. I believe all the pieces in here today, I'm not 100%, but I think I may not have any of these in my actual collection yet. So while some of them might even be fairly common, finding them in the kind of condition I want, which is, going to be the best possible condition, obviously, is not always easy. So sometimes it takes me some time to get there. So I just want to, even though some of these pieces you see might be like, wait, that's really common, everyone sees that one, it doesn't mean you're always going to get it in great condition. And I learned a long time ago the condition is really important for this. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I apologize for any wiggling going on, but I want this to be as clear as possible for everybody who's looking. I am trying a new configuration with the lighting today, which unfortunately is giving us a little glare on this plastic here, but I want it to be more clear, the video. So anyway, let's get into package number 1. I did want to thank everybody who subscribed. My subscriber count went quite a lot higher this last few weeks. I'm not sure why it did. I got a lot more views as well. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. Wow, this is interesting. This is very weird. They wrapped it in some sort of a, I don't know, like a mat board. So they wrapped this inside of a mat board, which is kind of funny. We'll put it in the mat board at the end to see what it looks like when it's framed. Okay, let's get into this piece. No idea. It's been so long since I purchased these. I'm not sure which one this is. Oh yeah, this is a lovely piece actually. Okay, so this is, I actually do have a second copy of this piece. Unfortunately, I don't have the piece available for comparison. It's actually put away right now. But this is the piece. This is a piece by Kaburaki Kiyokata, and it is in lovely condition. Oops, got a little bit of something on there. Actually, as I look at this, wow, I didn't realize that. This one has no creases. That is so rare. Wow, because this is a much older, much earlier Kiyokata piece. Wow, so there's no creases. That's great. I mean, you really want, obviously, ideally, most Kuchi-e include, let me zoom in a little bit on this. Is that zoom in or zoom out? Yeah, let's zoom in. There we go. So most of these have creases, obviously. They're folded up. They're put into books, so they're going to have creases because you can't get them in the smaller books otherwise. But yeah, this is great. So this piece, it's a really beautiful piece. I think it has something to do with, obviously, a military officer. I'm not sure who these women in the background are. They're kind of like cannon. Something about the cannon comes to mind, although I'm not sure exactly what it is. But this is a truly lovely piece by Kaburaki Kiyokata. I do have another one. So it's interesting. The one I have is in excellent condition. It is inside the book. So now I have one in and one out. This being flattened and in excellent condition, it probably would be a premium, like in a retail setting, if it were to be resold. So this piece, because it's never been folded, and it's in practically, perfect condition. Basically, has the full margins lines at the top and the side, which you don't even usually get with these because mostly they're trimmed to put into the book. They will have a margin here often, but there will be staple holes because it's mounted into the book. So there'll either be binding holes or stapled holes, and those staples often rust, which then spreads out. So they're not even like, oh, two nice, clear, crisp, clean staple holes. It'll be like rusty, brown, kind of spreading out. And while it doesn't usually end up inside the print margin line, it still makes it so you can't have this nice, clean, kind of like border along the top. And this extra thin border on the side is also very nice. I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you guys can get a better shot of this. So this is a fantastic design. So it's just kind of dynamic. I have no idea what is going on exactly. I'll have to look into that, and I will put the information up here on the side somewhere so everybody will know what book it's from, what the dates are. It does have an earlier Kiyokata signature down here at the bottom. So this is, going to be probably 1905, between 1903 and 1908, like maximum in there. His signature changed at some point. It does have a Kiyokata seal here, which just says Kiyokata. So yeah, really, really, really nice print. Really nice print, and just has some really beautiful definition. The character is well designed. He's got this kind of dynamic. I mean, I'm sure he's a naval officer probably because he looks like a pirate. So I'm guessing this is a naval outfit rather than a military, like army or something like that. It looks like a naval outfit. But yeah, it's really beautiful. He's wearing this very detailed hat with the feathers on the top. He's got this dynamic, well-carved beard. I mean, can you imagine what it took to carve this beard? Look at how fine these lines are. I mean, this is incredible. You're having to carve each of these lines separately, and they intersect and cross over each other. Can you imagine trying to carve that? Wow, just incredible. And then it just has nice printing overall. So it has these beautiful flowers, calla lilies at the bottom. The women at the top here are both dressed in some sort of a gown outfit. These two here, you can see that there's a bit of a glare here. These are both silver. Surprisingly and thankfully, I don't love the overwrought silver in some of these. This is actually a lavender silver, which is really beautiful. But these two shining silver, cords or whatever they're supposed to be, that's really a nice, simple offput of metallic inks. To me, the metallic inks can be very much so overused. This is a nice, effective, great way to use it in a very small, subtle way. So anyway, we have these two beauties kind of looking down on this man here, and they're both carrying calla lilies, and they have calla lilies mixed into their hair or their outfit as well. I just don't know what the reference is. There is some blind printing also into this piece. Let me see if I can catch it well. It's very subtle. I don't think I can catch it actually. It's an extremely subtle. Anyway, so basically you have these two beauties looking down on this gentleman in his military regalia, and he's clutching something. See this red? There's a splash of red right here in his hand. So I'm not sure what that is. He's clearly clutching something to his chest, to his heart. Maybe someone passed away. Maybe these two women died. Maybe he died. I just don't know. But I'll have to look into it. Oh yeah, he's got a sword. I didn't notice that. So you have a sword hilt sticking out right here. All the details you expect from a beautiful Kaburaki Kiyokata piece are present in this design. Yeah, fantastic. I really love this piece. So it is in the book. Let me look it up in the book real quick. Yeah, it's interesting. So what I was going to say about this piece, so I have two copies of this design. The thing that I think is really interesting about this design in particular is that the one I have is different colors. So this one is like the typical color, which I think it's, let me zoom in a tad. The typical one is like this. So it's about this coloration, which I'm not going to say it has a particular tone in general, but I would say it's kind of generally all over the place colors, a little darker over here, a little light, and just kind of mixed up colors. The other one I have, for some weird reason, is heavily toned to the yellow. So I don't know if it was published by a different printer, which they did do multiple printers. One of my commenters brought that up last time I made a video, saying, the reason for the variation in colors could be one printer to the next. And actually, he or she was very right about that. That is true. They did use multiple printers because of the volume of these books and the volume of these monthly literary magazines. They did use multiple printers in order to be able to meet their deadlines. So sometimes the coloration could be that. There's also a theory. I don't happen to agree with this theory, but it is out there. A guy named David Bull. He has a theory because he found one or two metallic key block plates that he believes that they used metal key blocks for the black outline. So all the black areas, all the line work, he believes that they use that so that from one printer to the next, the black outlines would remain the same, which is why when you look at two designs side by side, often the colors seem to be different shades. They might even be slightly off in the different areas. Like there's definitely some variances among colors. And, it's an interesting theory and an interesting hypothesis. He does have those printing plates, which makes you think maybe. The only reason I am not sure about it, or I have mixed feelings about it especially, is I don't understand the point. If you're going to make the colors all different, then what is the point if the black is different? It's not like, oh, we need to maintain that this black outline is perfect every time, but who cares about the colors? I mean, that just seems ridiculous to me. Why don't you just have them recarve a new black outline key block each time, and then they'll be slightly different? Nobody was comparing these. Nobody's even comparing them now. Like, so what is the point? It's not like one is more valuable or less valuable than the other. It's still part of a woodblock, quote unquote, printing process. If you're going to have lines that are created with wood blocks or metal blocks, it's really sort of irrelevant because the process is exactly the same. I just don't see that there was any benefit other than the people that did the carving of the key block line. We're only talking about the single black lines. Okay, look at how few black lines there even are on this piece. Like, they're very fine. They outline the characters. They do tie an artwork together. I believe that about key blocks too. The black lines do tie everything together, but there's not that much black in this piece. Like, why would you bother spending all that, all that energy to make metal key blocks, which certainly would make these the same, but to what end? Like, I don't understand. There was no more valuable one way or the other. Cutting out a single block carving probably didn't cut out very much time. These guys were experts in their field. They were very quick at doing things. I cannot imagine that it actually would have been that much faster, if at all, any faster to do it. I don't see the benefit. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Dave Bull's right. I don't know. It's an interesting theory, and the fact that he found the metal block makes you think, yeah, maybe that's possible. I just don't see the benefit of doing it. Like, what was the point? If they weren't going to try to match them up and make them perfectly matched, was there any point in doing it at all then? Because, like, if you're going to try and make them perfect, wouldn't you want them to match perfectly all the way across? So I'm just flipping through to see if we can find the edition of this print to show that it is here it is right here. So yeah, so you can see that in this book, even in this book, I don't know if you guys can see the subtle difference. This thing, but this is book printing, could be off a little bit. The colors are a little bit more obvious here. Like, oh, I see, this is like a cloud area. So this one here has like a blue. I don't know if you can see that, but there's like a blue up in the clouds, and it makes it look more cloud-like. Mine seems to be missing that. So I don't know if that was, again, another printer, a different something they took out later. I just don't know. They're both beautiful. This one here looks a little bit darker in the plant area down here. This one is definitely darker down here. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but there's like a darker coloring down here at the bottom. And like I said, the other one I have has overall tones of yellowishness. I don't know. It's very interesting. I will take a picture of the one I have and add it up here as well, or add it somewhere in here so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to put this in the, oh yeah, let's see what it looks like in this frame they supplied. Yeah, it's not really a very well-fitting frame. Yeah, it's cutting off a massive chunk of the artwork. So let's see, we would want the signature. No, we probably want the characters. Forget the signature. So let's see what this looks like. Anyway, that's what it looks like when it's framed. Not really that different, frankly. Anyway, just an interesting something to try out. Maybe I'll keep this to the side and see if any of these other ones look interesting like that as well. Let me put this in the book for safekeeping while we finish this talk. about the rest of the prints that we're going to look at today. But anyway, I thought that was interesting. I don't discount Dave Bull's theory. I think he made an interesting, put forth an interesting discussion point. But you know, a lot of people just kind of believe it, and I'm like, well, look, I've talked to several people, including Tomo Asahi, who has the largest Kuchi-e collection in the world. He has about, I think, more than 5,000 pieces. So his collection is amazingly large. And I've also talked to another person who has a very large Kuchi-e collection, who lives in Japan, who's been a long-term collector of all things like book-related woodblock printing. And they told me they did not think that was the case. So I kind of agree. Like again, only because I just haven't seen it. Like, wouldn't there be a whole bunch of metal blocks left with the same key blocks all over the place if that was the case? I just don't feel it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's just my opinion. I'm not saying that David Bull's wrong. I'm just saying I don't know if I agree with his supposition because there just isn't enough evidence. So who knows? Maybe right. Maybe wrong. I don't know. All right. Moving on to the next item. I do remember what this is. It's a nice continuation with the last one because it, well, you'll see in a second. I wanted to take a second, by the way, to thank everybody for subscribing. So I don't have a lot of subscribers. I have about 40 subscribers. I just wanted to thank you all. Every one of you matters to me, and I appreciate everybody who subscribes. And I've been getting a lot more views lately, too. I'm not really sure how the algorithm works, but my view count went up to like 1,500 views per week some weeks. And then it drops back down this week to like 500 or 600 a week. So, you know, obviously it goes up and down like everything will. But I just want to say I appreciate everybody who watches my videos. And thank you. So, wow, look at that. So this is obviously a book. This is a print in a book. This is also a print by Kaburaki Kiyokata, it turns out, just because I remember this book cover. Wow, look at how beautiful that is. Dang. So this is also... this is lithography, though. I don't know if you guys can tell that, but you can actually see the little dots in the flowers especially. That is a sign of lithographic printing. So, but really nice looking nonetheless. It has a very Art Nouveau style design to it. And this is the print that we're going to be looking at. There's another design featuring a beauty with a young girl. And this is also, again, by Kaburaki Kiyokata. Now, interesting enough, this signature that we have here is essentially the same as the last signature. It's a different Kiyokata seal, but the signature is very similar. So very similar time period, probably within a couple years. This does have a kind of a glitchy thing going on right here on the margin, but otherwise this is basically in perfect condition. It's a beautiful print. There's no acidity kind of eating into anything, and everything looks pretty clean. Yeah, beautiful. So let me just give you an up close shot. I do, and I don't like these borders. So woodblock printing has often done this bordering technique where they come around the borders here. You know, there are goods and bads about it. The good thing is when you get a print that's in perfect condition and everything looks amazing, yeah, those margin coloring, the coloring margins look great. They kind of frame the piece and they offset it nicely. When it doesn't look nice is when they're trimmed. So if this had a damage right here and someone trimmed it, this side would be 1/4 inch and this side would be 1 inch, and it just looks terrible and there's no way to fix it after that. I mean, not no way. There's no inexpensive way to fix it. You have to either be an expert at repairing. I don't think I consider myself an expert, and I don't think I would be able to match it perfectly. But even I wouldn't want to take that on. Like, I just feel like, and I have some experience doing this, but I wouldn't want to take that on. I think it's a little bit too much work to make it, to try and match this blue, purple, blue, lavender color around the border. It's not going to look perfect. Would it look better? Maybe. But in any event. So again, here we have a typical Kiyokata scene. We have a mother and a child, or a beauty and a child. The woman is wearing a ring on what would be called her wedding finger in the West. I don't know if that means she's married or not. I'm not sure if and or when the Japanese embraced that that type of wedding culture that we had in the West, where people would wear wedding ring on their finger. Sorry. So I don't know when that happened. This may or may not be a woman and a daughter. Could be an aunt. Could be sisters. Who knows? But it's two women, one quite a bit younger than the other one. But again, we have all the beautiful details that Kiyokata subscribed and included in his work. Starting at the very tip top, you have a beautiful hair clip that's been incorporated into the woman's hair. You come down. She's not wearing earrings, although I have seen women with earrings sometimes. You have the young girl here who also has a hairband in her hair. The eyes are beautifully done. The lips have a slight bit of lip gloss or some sort of coloring. You have the inner kimono, which is this subtle purple here. Again, very well designed. And then look at the beautiful design on this girl's dress. It's got like hydrangeas and, various kinds of flowers, and each one is individually colored. Look at the color on the hydrangea. That totally matches hydrangea colors. And then on the other side of the face, there's another hydrangea right here. So then you come down, you have the beautiful external kimono with all the details. Again, he shows the subtle inside of the undergarment here, the red undergarment. And it shows again here on the back side of the same sleeve edge. So then we come down on this side, you have the obi in the back, which again has multiple colors, lots of nice, beautiful design work here. And on the child, you have that she has some sort of an internal wrap. I mean, it's like a child's obi. I don't know exactly what these are called. And then you have the child wearing some sort of a smock design. I'm not sure what this was about, but it's like the front part of a dress, sort of. It almost looks like something you'd wear in the kitchen, like a kitchen person might wear, but I don't know what the significance was in Japan. We come down here, and again, you have the sleeve, the long hanging sleeve with the interior red underside peeking through. Super beautiful, super well designed, beautifully balanced. Were it not for this one little glitchy thing right here, it'd be basically perfect. Lovely piece, excellent condition in the book. And thankfully, in this case, the book has not done any damage to the piece, which is very nice. So, yeah, just a lovely piece. And you'll notice, by the way, I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but this girl, the young girl's face is more peachy colored and the woman's face is more white. And that was because they very much so in Japan valued the white of like the skin being extra lightened. And so the women often wore things that would make their skin lighter color. And as a young girl, you would not do that. So she still has regular peach colored skin, you would say. Anyway, very interesting. Oh yeah, and again, the nice detail of this ring that Kiyokata has included. Again, it's just another subtle detail that Kaburaki Kiyokata didn't miss, and that's why his pieces are amazing. So let me put that there for a second. I'm sure that I'll be able to find this in the book. I might have already pre-marked it. I don't remember if I knew this was coming or not. Yeah, here it is right here. So here's the piece right here. And it's interesting. So I don't know if you can see this, but there's a little glitch in the margin line right here. Can you guys see that? The margin that's right on this side, there's a tiny little cut. And if you look right here, the same cut is here. So this one, in whatever way, was made at the same publishing factory. So whoever printed this one, and they printed this one too. But there are some differences, although I don't know, it could just be the printing. When you shrink something down, everything becomes much tighter looking. So here we have a larger one and a smaller one. Anyway, very similar to the image. They look very similar to me, the book and the piece. So anyway, there you go. Another beautiful piece by Kaburaki Kiyokata. I do remember one of the other pieces in this book. I don't recall, not this book, I mean in this package that I'm opening, but I don't actually remember what any of the other ones are. Again, at the back here, you have a lithographic thing, lithographic design. This is probably somebody's signature. I don't know who it is. Doesn't look like Kiyokata to me, but it is very pretty anyway, whoever did this. And yeah, lovely book. Still in the book, and the book is good. I probably had a slipcase at one point, which I unfortunately don't have. So, but that's just a nice benefit if you can get it. All right, let me move on. Let me wrap this really quickly, and then we'll move on. But anyway, back to the subscribers. I do appreciate everybody who subscribes, and it's interesting. I'm trying to understand how YouTube's algorithm actually works. I don't really understand it. I don't know why. Like, I have this one video. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but I have one video that has like 6,000 streams or views, 6,000 views, something like that, which is a lot because I just started and most of my videos are nowhere near that amount. So I have one of that, Let me zoom out just a tad. I have one of those that's like that. And I just don't know why that one is so much more than the others. I don't think the content is so different. I do have a nice shot of the whatever the print that we're comparing, is on the cover, but I don't know what makes one so much more popular than another. I don't think I'm particularly more entertaining in that video. I've tried to watch through it just to see what the difference might be, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just curious like how their algorithm works. Oh, here we have another thing, and it looks like actually this one comes with two, like I said. So actually this one has two pieces. I cannot for the life of me remember what this is. So yeah, so let's see. Let's open it up and see what I ordered. These are combined two packages. They're both from like a month and a half to 2 months ago. So I don't remember what I purchased. I only remembered that I hadn't seen yet in opening the other packages that I had that Kiyokata coming. That's why I knew it was coming. So it looks like we have a set here. So this came from some sort of set of books. You can see they are side to side. And actually it looks like it might have been 3 books, I think, because this one is top. So I don't know if that's book number 1 or what, but that means top. And then there's another alternating version of this that goes the other direction, which sort of means bottom. And so I don't know if that's like first, second, and third, or whether this says something else. I don't know. But I do know this is one of the ways that they identify which volume it is, like volume this, volume this. So anyway, we'll presume that this is volume 1, which doesn't really matter to us because we're not going to be looking at what's in the book anyway, other than the Kuchi-e. But look at this cover. Look at this great cover. It's got a card game, some kind of card game going on. So you have like typical playing cards here. Comes on both sides. And then in the background, we have 2 guys fighting. I don't know if you guys can see that. We have 2 guys fighting. And it's funny because on this side, you have a king and an ace. On this side, you have a king and I don't know, I can't tell what it is. Oh, queen, king and a queen. And then a 10. Who knows what game they were playing. But isn't that really cool that it's like poker related? I love that. All right, so let's take a look here and see what we have. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I know what this is. You know what? I don't know if I knew there were 2 books included here. Maybe the other one doesn't have a print. I don't know. This doesn't ring. I do remember ordering this. This is by shoot, it'll come to me in a second. But anyway, I do love this piece. I do think it's got a very kind of weird sort of design, like the roof. The roof looks a little strange because it's cut off here. Like I always thought, wow, that doesn't look very like correct the way it's laid out, but it's because the roof is supposed to continue off to the side and they've cut it here. And so it just looks funky like that. So anyway, I've kind of let it go. Like, you know what? It's just because of the way they did it that it looks a little funky. But the reality is it's fine. It doesn't bother me stylistically, but I just thought it looked a little off the first few times that I saw it. And then I was looking at it differently. Like if this continued, this would be the kind of correct angle if this thing continues off the screen and there's like pillars or something along those lines. Okay, in any event, let's take a look at this. This is Tomioka Eisen. I do love the work of Tomioka Eisen. I have many pieces by him. This one I don't have, but yeah, what a really beautiful design. So you have a beauty at the bottom playing violin. And then you have a man, obviously, in the window who's gazing down upon her. So not knowing the story, obviously probably a love story of some kind. I don't think she's violining a curse onto this guy because that seems highly unlikely. But, you know, Tomioka Eisen, like Kaburaki Kiyokata, was not short on details. See this bit of curtain inside, this bit of bluish-white curtain at the top. You have the, you know, this window covering or whatever here, or bed covering. But as you look through the glass, you can see it's slightly muted. The design is the same. You have the same design here, but it's muted here by color. Like that's just a really nice technique. You know, you're putting extra effort to make this look different, you know, and that's what makes art pop. Then you have the gentleman here. He's got a Western style with a mustache and a Western short hair. He's wearing some sort of a, you know, neck wrap, like a, I can't remember what you call those things, but like some sort of a, not like a tie, but, you know, some sort of a cosmetic neck piece, like a scarf or something, but for men, I can't remember what they call it. Then you have this interior vest, I'm assuming. It has a pocket watch, which you can see the edge of the pocket watch here. And it has this weird polka dot design, which I don't actually love, but whatever, it probably was with the time. The pants have line work on them, very tightly tightly cut pants, very Western style, and then you have a nice black overcoat of a gentleman. So then you have this sort of like, very elegant looking house or castle sort of idea, tree lines in the background, and then you come down to the beauty. She is wearing a very odd looking hat to me. I love it. Actually, I really love this design, but this hat she's wearing is just bonkers. Like, it looks like it's made of some cabbage piece or like some sort of very foldy fabric that I'm not really used to seeing, but it is very cool looking. I love it. And then she has this kind of like, there's like a thin piece of fabric tied around the top of the hat, which then comes off and sort of like flies off into the wind. So you can tell there's movement here. She has the violin, which she is not actively playing at this point yet. So she's maybe thinking of something, but she's wearing this beautiful face covering, this red splash of red, beautiful face coloring, which also is kind of flying off into the wind. And then she has this subtle lavender, well-designed, beautiful dress. There are a few condition issues on this piece in particular, but not bad at all. It's obviously contained within the book, so there's really nothing you could do about that. The Tomioka Eisen signature here, and then you have the Eisen seal here at the bottom. And I'm not going to take the time to look this up, but anyway, if I'm wrong about it being Tomioka Eisen, I will correct it later. I'm pretty sure it is. It looks like Tomioka Eisen to me, so that's what I'm going with, but I will correct it later if I need to. But yeah, we have a little bit of, I don't think it's foxing necessarily, but there's some little bits of stains sort of here. Not horrible though. I've definitely seen worse. And, the book seems like it's in pretty decent condition, all things considered. The cover is complete. There's a little tear here, but overall not bad. I definitely am happy to have this in my collection. So yeah, fantastic. I don't remember the other print at all. I'm not even sure I knew this came with two. So maybe there isn't a print in the other one. Sometimes when you order a set of books that are books from a series of Kuchi-e, sometimes only one of the books will actually have the Kuchi-e included, and sometimes there won't be two. Even though 2 books or even 3 or 4 books, they didn't always come with Kuchi-e every single time. So yeah. So that's, something you want to watch out for, but it is very nice. A friend of mine actually was really lucky in that he ordered a set of books, or a book, and he didn't think another print came with it, and it included 2 really fabulous prints. I mean, the one he got was already amazing, and then he was able to get a second print, which they didn't even advertise. Oh yeah, I know this. I do know this design, and it is very lovely as well. So yeah, I'm very happy to get this. Again, yeah, this is definitely Tomioka Eisen, and this is a really lovely design. It's a very interesting design. You have this very critical looking, like movie, theater goer probably, or something along those lines. And he's watching this person from the theater, who I presume is the same gentleman from before. Maybe now that I can see what's happening here, maybe that person was a fan. The woman with the violin was a fan playing to this famous, looks like an actor, because he's getting dressed up clearly. There's something here. I don't know what that is. But he's clearly putting face paint on, getting ready. I don't know if it's kabuki or some other sort of acting or play, but he's clearly getting ready for some sort of performance in this picture. And the other one could be a fan, some kind of an adoring fan playing to him. But anyway, just a really lovely design. Both of these are very lovely designs. There is a weird thing going on right here, which I don't actually understand what's happening. So I don't know if I can fix that or not. I might be able to. I don't know what it is. I'll take a closer look later. Anyway, let's have a close look at this piece. So you have a gentleman here who is clearly putting face paint on, since you see the paints here. So he's got some sort of a makeup artist kit going on. You see his reflection in the mirror. He's clearly looking in the mirror while he applies some of this makeup to his face, and he's definitely getting ready for a performance of some sort, I would think. And then you have this gentleman here who's kind of peeping through the curtains. I'm going to say this is like maybe the person who puts the play together, who's looking to see what kind of crowds are showing. I don't think he's sneaking a look onto this person. I think he's overlooking the crowd scene of the theater they're in to see what kind of attendance there is, checking to make sure everything's running smoothly. It just has a critical eye. You can see this guy literally has a critical eye going on. He is wearing glasses, which is very Western. I love that. That there's like, this is obviously the period where people were getting eyewear, even though they were getting eyewear a lot sooner, but this is wearing eyewear in a Western, very Western style. Again, wearing also a Western style suit. And then this gentleman here, it's just lovely. No shortage on details. Again, the reflection in the mirror, absolutely excellent. The hand, reflected properly. Everything just looks beautiful. You have the brushes. You have this, again, the mirror and the mirror stand here. Then you have him wearing some sort of outfit. I don't know what's particular about that. He is wearing a partial kimono, I think, at the bottom, though. This is the lower kimono, I believe. And then over here on this side, we have his signature. But the details, no shortage of details, all the various colors. This print required a lot of colors, a lot of different separate blocks in order to make this work. So every one of these colors you see on here required a different color. So that's a different block that needs to be cut. And then I don't know if you could see it or not, but there's actually a checker pattern to the overall paper. So they did some kind of blind stamping, they did a blind stamping because it's only obvious on the background. It's not obvious where the characters are printed. So that's really amazing. I don't know how they did that, but that's pretty cool too. I believe they just put it on a piece of wood that has these tiny little bumps, and then they just rub over it, and it doesn't leave any coloring. It just leaves like a bumpy texture, but it is very fine. Can you guys see that at all? I don't know, but it's very, very fine. So yeah, beautiful piece, Tomioka Eisen. Now I'm thinking maybe there's a book 3, and I'll try and get it if I can figure out which one it is. But yeah, lovely design. So we'll wrap this one up, and then I will move on to the final 3. I'm not trying to drag this out as long as possible. I just haven't done any video in such a while, and I didn't realize this had so many extra books. I didn't realize there was 2 in here. So I was thinking there was only going to be 5 pieces, but now it's looking like 6 pieces. So I will try to pick this up a little bit. Apologize for delaying anybody who only wanted a quick stop. Feel free to come back and look later. Here's a one here. It looks like I can just slip it out, so we'll just do that. And let's see what we have. Actually, I can see what this one is. I'm gonna save it. Okay. Oh, actually, there's only 2 more now. Wait. Oh yeah, there's only 2 left. Okay, good. Let's do these 2. Okay, I'm gonna do this one first. I'm gonna save this other one for last because I could see it through there, and I really love it, and it's super rare. So let's save that to be the last print. So anybody who's still hanging on here, thank you for being here, firstly. And secondly, there's a surprise at the end if you hang around. Otherwise, you can just skip forward and check it out. Okay, this design, I really love this design. I believe it's by Mishima Shoso. I'm pretty certain that's Mishima Shoso. Very difficult name for me to say, but I love this design. You have this woman who's watching the ocean, this beauty who's watching the ocean. It's nighttime. You can see some stars up here in the sky. And then you have this boy visiting her, kind of bending over, speaking to her. You've got some religious, like a stone, like sort of a religious stone here. So maybe we're near some sort of temple. There's some sort of a shrine type idea right here in the background. And then this guy clearly has a knife behind his back, which is just horrifying to consider. So this woman is speaking to this person here. They're wearing the same clothing, which is a little bit interesting, and I don't know what that means. Maybe they're here as a couple. I'm not sure what that indicates. It probably indicates something. Maybe they're at some sort of a bathhouse. I know a bathhouse, they'll issue you robes, so maybe this is like a bathhouse situation. I don't actually know because I don't have the book at all, so I have no idea what this is about. But she's clearly sitting here watching the ocean. He's coming up behind her with a short sword hidden behind his back. This is what makes Kuchi-e really interesting and unique to all other woodblock prints, in my opinion. This subtle, kind of like implied violence is very unique. I don't think it's happens at any other points in woodblock printing histories. I think that Kuchi-e are the only era or genre of Kuchi-e of woodblock prints that actually did this. So here we have another great example. A guy with a knife looking over this beauty here who's sitting down watching the ocean. Clearly she's not defensive. They don't look like they're fighting at all, but he definitely looks like he's about to hurt her in some fashion, which hopefully not, but probably that's what this is. This implied violence, this subtle menace is definitely what makes Kuchi-e special, in my opinion, and it makes him very interesting. Anyway, just a beautiful design, really well laid out. It could be a very beautiful design. If this was on your wall in your office or at home and people came to look, I bet 80% wouldn't even notice the knife. They wouldn't even notice the subtle menace that's going on in this photo. They would say, oh, what a beautiful Japanese woodblock print. And they'd be right, with one exception. It's not so beautiful in the sense of what's about to occur based on if you look into the depth of this piece, which most people don't do. But this is what makes woodblock prints lovely in the Kuchi-e genre. And that's why I collect these, because I love this. Yeah, and there's less just blood and gore. There is some of that too, and I also like collecting those. But I think the subtle menace is just more interesting. It's because it's not, like I said, it's not used in other eras or other genres of woodblock printing. There's a lot of violence, but it's not implied. This is implied. There's actually no violence occurring here other than what we presume may be happening at some point in the very, very near future to this beauty here. Anyway, that's it. One more piece to look at. I'm going a little quicker because I don't want this to be an all-day thing for people who want to move on. I appreciate you again if you're here still, so thank you for that. And let me just slip this in here, and then we'll move on to the next one, which is a fantastic piece. I love all these pieces that I've gotten today in this video, actually. I hope you've enjoyed watching them as well. I think they're all very beautiful. But the next one is not just beautiful, it's also very rare. I don't think I've ever seen this piece available before. If I did, it was only one time, and I stupidly didn't grab it then. But I didn't know anything about it then, and I only know a little bit about it now, so yeah. But anyway, this is the print that we're talking about. This is another design by the artist Kaburaki Kiyokata. This design is incredible to me. It's very, very rare. I haven't seen it available much. Maybe never, but definitely only once before, if ever. And the signature is also very interesting. Like this signature down at the bottom, it barely looks like Kiyokata. It actually looks more like his student. Kiyokata had one pupil, Ishi Tekisui, who had a signature that looks very similar to this. That's why at first I actually thought it was a Tekisui print and rather than a Kiyokata print, because their designs are very similar also. So even their signature is a little similar, and their designs are also very similar. So I was a little bit confused because if you look at the signature, it's yeah, you can kind of see the Kiyokata, but it's really, really stylistically very like quick or something. So yeah, it was a little bit different to see. So anyway, what we have here is a beauty who is looking at a painting of some person. I don't know the story behind this. I've never seen the book. I don't even know what book it's attached to. I'll have to try and see if I can even locate that. But yeah, but anyway, again, no shortage of details. You have a beautifully ornate framing here. It comes out the top, goes down and comes out the side. So it's you know, a nice technique where you're showing that it's obviously not the full picture. It could be more. Maybe there's more people, but anyway, we're seeing this zoomed up on this. Could be her father. Could be one of her relatives. Excuse me for a second while I take a drink of some coffee. Apologies. But you have this beauty who's gazing at a painting of some kind. We only see the beauty from the back, and yet again, Kiyokata has not spared the details. The head and the hair have all the details we're used to seeing with Kiyokata. We have a very stylized hairpin on the top, which then comes through to the side here, again to the back, comes out the side. We have the full hair design. Anybody who was of this period would know exactly what this hairdo was. They would know how to make it. They would know how it works. People who did hair back then could see this and go, bam, it's correct. I guarantee you he made it the correct way. And then you come down, you have the side of her face here. Very subtle, just the side of this beauty's face. That's it. You have the back of her ear, a little bit of loose hair. That does actually mean things in Japanese society. So I don't know if it means she's a little bit harried. She's a little bit, you know, she's got something going on that's a little worrying. Usually the hairs are more tucked in tightly. So I don't know what that implies other than a little bit of unkemptness. That's all I can say about that. Then we come down. We have the inner kimono, or the underwear you might say, which is the white piece here. Then we have another inner kimono here, which has this very slight, tiny little polka dot piece along the neckline right there. Again, you have the, you know, you have a stylized mon here for one of the houses. So you have some sort of a mon, which is a character that identifies what kind of house this particular person might be tied to. And then we go down to the obi, which again, absolutely beautiful design, stylistically almost European actually in the way it's done, like European fabric printing. I don't mean like beds, I mean like wall hangings, decorative arts kind of thing. Just really beautiful, nice colors, orange, yellow, purple, lavender, green, all put in here to set off this piece. It's kind of a minimalistic piece, honestly. I don't see this as being like, wow, it's fabulous, it's unbelievably amazing. I just think it's really lovely. It doesn't have any of the implied violence we were talking about with the last piece. So it's just a very quiet, calm, beautiful piece of a young beauty looking at somebody who's in a painting. Could be a museum, could be someone's house, who knows. But it's beautiful. We have a more modern Kiyokata signature and seal. So I'm going to say this is probably very late for him, maybe 1913, 14, 15, something like that. I was able to find this in the book, I believe. So I can show you that. So I was able to find it in the book, and I think here it is here. So here we have the piece right here in the book. Basically same as the one that I have below here. Sorry about the glare, guys. But you can see it there. So it is in the Kaburaki Kiyokata section. And you can see the piece here. Definitely is the same piece. Looks basically the same. But yeah, really lovely. I love this piece. I think it's fantastic. And like I said, I've never seen it for sale before. If I have, it was only once, and maybe it was already sold, or I don't know how I saw it. But just lovely. Really glad to have it. Anyway, that's it for my video today. Again, thank you all for subscribing, for anyone who's subscribed. And I am going to be doing some other videos. I'm going to do Kuchi-e still, but I'm going to be changing it up a little bit just because the format. And I'm going to do package openings in the future again. I have another one to do coming up with Kinsen Suzuki, who was one of the most prolific of the Kuchi-e artists, and yet he's very... He was actually very much so doing things that were like violence. So he has a lot of violent implied and actual violence. He's purported to have been the artist that actually made the most designs of any of the artists. So he might have been the most prolific. It's estimated he could have done like well over 1,000 designs, which is incredible. And he does have a lot of prints on one of the books. In the DVD by Tomo Asahi, they talk about, they show that he has the most designs. So in the Tomo Asahi DVD, there's a lot of designs that are, listed by number. You know, you can see like Kiyokata has 288 or something like that. But whoever has the most, it's actually Kinsen Suzuki has the most. So anyway, I'm going to do one of my next few videos will be about that guy, and that will be a package opening. I don't remember which pieces are in there because I bought it in September. And then I'm going to do another video about a specific artist, which I've been wanting to do for quite a while. So definitely come back to check that out. That's going to be really, really cool. There's no other videos about that artist online, and he's a very rare artist. So I think people will really enjoy seeing that. If you're interested in woodblock prints, it's not a Kuchi-e artist. It will not be a Kuchi-e video. It is about an ukiyo-e artist, but who's extremely rare. So anyway, that's it. Thank you. Happy New Year to everybody, if I haven't already said that. And happy hunting for woodblock prints. I hope you all find some great designs. And that's it. Have a great day, everybody.